So I'm hearing around the table that Thursday is good at this stage, and I'll get back to you with scheduling an agenda. Or not scheduling an agenda.
Okay, are we finished with?
That works for me at this
area?
point.
Okay, so we're on the next one, which is Councillor Stone.
Councillor Stone regarding GVRD.
Sorry, did you want to say something? I'm sorry.
The strategic, Councillor Lucas suggested we need about 2 days, and I would agree. So 2 days, not 2 months. Okay,
2 days.
So if we have the first day on Thursday, the 19th, I suppose. That's only half a day or a full day?
No, it can be a full day.
Because many of those issues we would probably need some introduction, some status report on pending, and that's mostly we rely on staff.
But if we're gonna do it in point form, I mean, you know, we don't need full reports.
No,
Because what we're doing, this is a plan, right? It's more of like it's not the execution of it. It's just a plan to get us going, right?
Okay, so should we then maybe submit to staff issues which we would like to have addressed on Thursday by staff?
Sure, I'm fine for that.
Because, you know, we need to know what the status of. Because what I realize we have no tracking system. There's so many things, but we do not know where they are, and it's very hard to set priorities without knowing exactly where we are.
But once we have a strategic plan, we will have the key projects, right?
Yeah, but before we get to the strategic plan, I want to know what else needs or remains to be cleaned up. And will that be part of the new strategic plan or not? So it would be very helpful if staff could be in point form, very simple, say, well, those are the issues which have fallen off the table, or we have to complete, or we have abandoned right now, so that we start with a clean slate. That's actually the point of it.
Okay.
I would report, as part of the opening of that session, I would report back on the existing strategic plan, leading us into the discussion. So all the existing projects and a few other operating comments, I would provide a status report of that, of where the existing plan is, as an opening to your discussion. So any projects noted on this will be addressed by me to open the discussion.
That looks very thin to me on this.
Yeah, no, that's the list
Could
of.
probably quote 10 right now, which I don't see here.
Right, and I'm happy to hear or to receive information about what you see missing there that are important topics, because that'd help organize. So yeah, anything along those lines, as Councillor Duntz is suggesting, we would be open to receive that.
Next topic
is Councillor Stone regarding GVRD Director's status report.
Okay, about December the 28th or thereabouts, received some correspondence from Chair Greg Moore, who's the mayor, also the mayor of Port Coquitlam. He's the chair of the Metro Vancouver Board. He sent an invitation for me to sit on the new Environment and Parks Committee on Metro Vancouver. And Heather Deal, who's part of the Vision Vancouver team, Gregor Robertson's team, has been appointed the chair of the committee. She has an extensive resume in science. And Gaetan Royer, who probably some of you know, is the staff representative on that committee. And the first meeting is on February the 9th. That's pretty much it.
Next item of business is Councillors Duntz and Stone, Islands Trust Municipal Trustees, regarding pending Islands Trust CAO presentation, a request for discussion topics.
Wolfgang and I were in Victoria just after our inauguration. It was December the 6th through 9th. During that time, Linda Evans, sorry? Adams, sorry. Thinking about a TV star. Linda Adams is the...
You're dating yourself.
You just want
It's right
$6 million.
It's right up there with the Cracker Jack.
Anyway, the CAO of the Islands Trust suggested the idea of coming to Bowen to give a seminar on what the Islands Trust does. And she had given some really stellar presentations during the 3 days that we were at the Islands Trust Council meeting. And encouraged her to approach the staff about coming out and talking to us. And initially we were talking about January the 30th, but it looks like we're going to be rescheduling
It for March.
for sometime in March. Do you recall the window, Council?
I don't remember the specific dates, but I am in contact with Islands Trust staff, so we'll get that out to council as soon as possible.
That's great. Anyway, I just on a personal note, I think the world of her as an administrator, and we saw nothing but a first-class run ship when we were in Victoria back in December, and really look forward to her coming and sharing some of her knowledge and Islands Trust experience with council. And if it's, of course, the meeting will be open to the public, so people can come as well.
They did that last term, and some members of the executive came as well, which was valuable. And I was cleaning out my office and I found the packing, and they did a very good presentation on the various roles and going through the planning referral process and everything else.
Great.
So if you still have, keep, I'll bring you the file.
Bring me the file. I think I can find mine, but you're much better.
Well, it's not for certain, but there's another person in the administration, Lisa Gordon, who runs a lot of the programs, including their grant writing staff, and they have a lot of really experienced people in approaching various levels of government for money, and I'm hoping that she's going to be coming along because she's an incredible wealth of knowledge for, we have our wish list, we can just talk to her and she'll go, okay, you want to do this, you want to do that. So hopefully she's going to be coming.
I think we should get in touch with her sooner rather than later while we're in the budget process.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just going to provide some context that was provided at a previous meeting, but I happen to have it with me, that we collect approximately $220,000 from Bowen Island residents and flow that through to Islands Trust. And that's about $100 per property that pay that. So we don't show it in our books, we just collect it and flow it through to Islands Trust. And then for Metro Vancouver, because we've just been talking about that as well, we collect $102,000 from Bowen Island residents, or about $50 per property, and flow that through to Metro Vancouver. And for that, we get services back. So this is really interesting that we're talking about right now. Always ties into the budget, doesn't it?
What was the first figure?
It's $220,000 collected for Islands Trust and $102,000 for Metro Vancouver. Those are last year's rates, but just to provide a bit of context about.
Formally and informally, we receive planning services from Islands Trust as well.
We didn't really know what to expect when we went over to Victoria, and our expectations were probably moderate. In fact, we came back both, and we were very impressed about the level of professionalism and expertise, and actually some of the staff was excellent. So our moderate expectations were surpassed by quite a margin. Considering how much money we pay to the Islands Trust for very little in return, if we get anything other than being under the umbrella of protection through the Islands Trust, what we should investigate what additional services we can actually expect or could ask from the Islands Trust, hopefully at a lesser cost than what we spend right now. For instance, the first afternoon when we arrived in Victoria, we went to the Islands Trust offices and we were introduced to the mapping branch. Well, guess what? We asked how they deal with steep slopes. Well, they have grappled with that for years. They've spent a lot of money. They cooperate with the Puget Sound Regional District and two other legislation. They are quantum leaps ahead of us dealing with steep slope, what makes a steep slope hazardous and so on. So for us to spend a lot of money going through learning curves, which they have already dealt with, is not only a waste of time, it's kind of waste of money. So we should really try to find out, especially on the planning sector, what could the Islands Trust deliver to us at comparable or ideally considerably lesser costs than what we incur right now. And therefore I'm somewhat disappointed that we can't meet before the end of March, because I see that as one section in this municipality which demands.
Although that doesn't preclude us from actually moving forward with some of these things. I mean, we've said we're going to look at all, the bylaws. Maybe we can get those bylaws, drafts of bylaws from the Islands Trust. Right? I mean, there's nothing to stop us from doing that before we speak to them.
Yeah, in fact, sorry to interrupt, Mayor Lar, Jasmine, our junior planner, used to work in the Salt Spring office at Islands Trust. She has an encyclopedic knowledge of planning things for Islands Trust. Of course, her focus has been on Salt Spring, but I went in and spoke with her for 15 minutes, and she just selected this flood of information about land use bylaws around the Islands Trust.
Okay, just jumping in, just in terms of timekeeping.
Yep.
I think we've highlighted the value of the Islands Trust that's coming back to us, and it's really important to hear that. And I think one of the things that you were suggesting, you were requesting topics as well that we highlight back to Islands Trust to prepare, and that would be those are really interesting ones. So
yeah. So we're talking about that right now.
Right. Perfect.